Hey, before we get into today's topic, I have to tell you something that happened to me last week, and it's a little embarrassing.
Oh, I love embarrassing stories. Go ahead.
Okay, so I've been trying to speak more English out loud, not just study it silently in my head.
Sure, that makes sense.
But I don't always have someone to practice with, so I started talking to myself.
Like actual conversations?
Kind of. I walked around my apartment describing what I was doing, out loud, like a cooking show host.
Now I'm chopping the onions, and this is going to taste amazing?
Exactly that energy.
That's honestly kind of brilliant.
It felt brilliant right up until my neighbor knocked on my door.
No.
Yes, she thought I was on a phone call, and when nobody answered, she got worried and came to check if I was okay.
What did you tell her?
I panicked and said I was practicing a presentation, which technically wasn't even a lie.
A presentation for an audience of one very confused woman in a hallway.
Exactly. But here's the strange part. Once I got past the embarrassment, I noticed my English actually got smoother.
Smoother how?
Not perfect, but easier. Because I was actually moving my mouth and forming full sentences, not just thinking words silently in my head.
That's huge, because thinking a sentence and saying a sentence use completely different skills, even if the words are identical.
Right, and that's basically what I've started calling the empty room method.
I like that name already.
It's simple. You find a moment when you're alone, in your room, your car, even the shower, and you speak English out loud about anything for a few minutes.
No script, no pressure.
Exactly. Nobody grading you, nobody correcting you, just your own voice moving through real sentences.
And it sounds almost too simple to actually work.
I thought that too, but speaking is a physical skill, not only a mental one. Your mouth, your breath, your timing, all of that needs practice, the same way your hands need practice to play an instrument.
So today, we're talking about how to genuinely improve your English speaking skills in real life, not just in theory.
And by the end of this episode, you might catch yourself talking to an empty room too.
Hopefully with the door closed this time.
Lesson very much learned.
Hey there, welcome back to Speak Unstoppable, the podcast where English gets easier one honest conversation at a time.
I'm John.
And I'm Maria, still slightly recovering from that neighbor visit.
She's going to be a legend on this podcast forever now.
Honestly, she deserves credit. Anyway, today we're talking about how to actually improve your English speaking skills, not just the theory of it.
Because so many learners already know grammar rules, already know plenty of vocabulary, but they freeze the moment they have to actually speak out loud.
Exactly. So today we're walking through what genuinely works. Real practice methods, mindset shifts, and specific habits you can start this week.
And later, we've got our word tour, 6 words about speaking and communication.
Plus, our Rewrite It segment, where we turn nervous, hesitant sentences into calm, confident ones.
So, be honest with me. Have you ever completely frozen mid-sentence in English?
More times than I can count. Let's start there.
So here's a myth I believed for years.
Which one?
That I needed to know almost everything before I could start speaking. More grammar, more vocabulary, more confidence, and only then would I be ready.
That's such a common trap.
It is, because it feels responsible, like you're just being careful.
But really?
Really, it's fear wearing a study schedule.
Ooh, I like that.
Thank you, I've been saving it.
But seriously, I studied English silently for years, reading, listening, taking notes, feeling like I understood a lot.
And then,
And then someone asked me a simple question in English, and my brain completely blanked.
even though you understood everything,
Understanding and producing are two different skills. I could read a sentence perfectly, but building my own sentence out loud, live, under pressure, that was a completely different muscle.
it's like watching cooking videos for years and then being shocked you can't cook.
Exactly that. You've seen it done 100 times, but your hands have never actually done it.
So waiting to feel ready basically guarantees you'll never feel ready.
Right, because speaking confidence doesn't come before speaking practice.
It comes after.
Every single time. The confidence is the result, not the requirement.
So if someone's listening right now thinking, I'll start speaking once my English improves.
I gently say, flip that sentence around.
Your English improves once you start speaking.
That's the real order, even though it feels backwards at first.
And I get why it feels backwards. Waiting feels safe.
It really does, because if you never speak, you can never technically fail.
Right. Silence protects you from embarrassment.
But it also protects you from progress.
Exactly. You can't improve a skill you never actually use.
It's a strange kind of safety, the kind that keeps you stuck exactly where you are.
So the first real step isn't a new app or a new textbook.
It's just opening your mouth, even badly, even today,
Can I admit something else?
always.
For years, I was terrified of making mistakes out loud. Silent mistakes felt private, but a spoken mistake felt like it existed in the world forever.
That's such a specific fear, but I get it completely.
There was this one meeting, early in my career, where I meant to say I was confident about a project.
Okay.
And instead I said I was confident, but pronounced it so strangely that a coworker genuinely thought I said a completely different word.
What word did they hear?
I'm not going to say it on this podcast,
Fair enough.
but the room went quiet for a second, and I wanted to disappear into the floor.
What did you do?
I just kept talking. Badly, awkwardly, but I kept going.
And?
And somehow, the meeting continued. Nobody remembered it a week later except me.
That's the part people forget. Our mistakes feel enormous to us, but they're tiny to everyone else.
Exactly, because everyone's too busy worrying about their own mistakes to catalog ours.
That's oddly comforting.
It should be. We're not the main character in other people's memories the way we think we are.
So, what changed for you after that meeting?
I started separating the fear of a mistake from the actual size of a mistake.
Meaning?
Meaning the fear felt huge, but the actual consequence was almost always small. A confused look, a quick correction, and then everyone moves on.
So, the gap between the fear and the reality is where all the suffering lives.
That's exactly it.
And once I noticed that gap, mistakes stopped feeling like emergencies,
They started feeling like, what exactly?
just small moments, little bumps, not disasters.
That shift alone probably saved you years of avoiding conversations.
Honestly, it did. Before that meeting, I would rehearse simple sentences in my head for 10 minutes before saying them out loud.
That sounds exhausting.
It was. Now I just say the sentence. And if it comes out wrong, I fix it in the moment.
Live editing instead of pre-writing everything.
Exactly. And it's so much faster.
So let's talk about mistakes differently.
How so?
Instead of treating a mistake as proof you're bad at English, treat it as information.
Information how?
Like data. If you say a sentence and someone doesn't understand you, that's not a verdict on your worth, it's just useful feedback.
Feedback you can actually use.
Right, it tells you exactly which sound, which word, which structure needs a little more attention.
That's a completely different relationship with mistakes.
It is, because most learners treat fluency like a test you either pass or fail.
When
When really, fluency is closer to fitness. You don't get strong from one perfect workout. You get strong from repeated, imperfect effort.
repeated imperfect effort. That should be printed somewhere.
Maybe on a gym wall, right next to a treadmill.
Don't get me started on treadmills again.
Fair, different episode. But the point is, every awkward sentence you speak out loud is basically a rep.
A rep that makes the next sentence slightly easier.
Exactly. And slightly easier, repeated for months, eventually becomes fluent.
So the goal isn't perfect sentences.
The goal is more sentences, even imperfect ones.
Quantity before perfection.
Quantity that eventually creates perfection, or at least something close enough that nobody notices the difference anymore.
And I think people underestimate how boring the real process is.
Boring how?
There's no dramatic breakthrough moment where suddenly you're fluent.
It's more like 100 tiny, unnoticed improvements.
Exactly. And none of them feel significant on their own.
So you don't wake up one day and just know English.
No. You wake up one day and realize the sentence you used to struggle with now comes out automatically.
And you don't even remember exactly when that changed.
That's usually how it happens. Quietly, in the background, while you were just showing up and speaking anyway.
So let's get practical. How does someone actually get more reps if they don't have anyone to talk to?
This is where the empty room method really helps.
Walk us through it properly.
Okay, step 1. Pick a small window of time, even 3 or 4 minutes, when you're alone.
Cooking, driving, walking the dog.
Any of those. Step 2. Narrate whatever you're doing, out loud, in English.
Even boring things?
Especially boring things. Because boring things are what real conversations are actually made of. Nobody's testing you on Shakespeare.
True. Most real conversations are just, I'm tired, or this coffee is too hot.
Exactly. So practice the boring stuff until it feels automatic.
What's step 3?
Step 3. When you get stuck on a word, don't stop and look it up immediately.
Then what do you do?
Describe around it. If you forget the word kettle, say the thing that heats water for tea.
That's such a useful habit for real conversations, too.
It is, because in real life, people forget words constantly, even in their first language.
True. I forget English words all the time, and it's my first language.
Exactly. So this isn't a beginner trick. It's just how spoken language actually works.
And step 4?
Step 4. Once a week, record yourself for 1 minute and listen back.
That part terrifies people.
It terrifies everyone at first, myself included.
But
But it's the fastest way to notice your own patterns, the words you repeat, the sounds you avoid.
so the empty room isn't really about being alone.
It's about building the muscle privately, so it's ready when you're not alone anymore.
And I'd add one more small tip.
Go ahead.
Keep a tiny list of 5 or 6 topics ready, so you're never staring blankly wondering what to talk about.
Like what kind of topics?
Your weekend, A show you watched. Something annoying that happened. Your plans for tomorrow.
Simple, everyday stuff.
Exactly, because that's what most real conversations are actually about anyway.
So the empty room becomes a rehearsal space for your actual life.
That's exactly what it is.
Okay, but let me push back a little.
Go ahead.
Practicing alone is great. But eventually you need real conversations with real people, real pressure, real reactions.
Completely agree. The empty room isn't the destination.
Then what is it?
It's the warm-up before the real workout. You don't walk straight into a competition with cold muscles.
So talking to yourself prepares you for talking to others.
Exactly. It lowers the stakes while you build the basic movement, so when a real conversation happens, you're not learning to speak and managing nerves at the same time.
That combination is brutal.
It really is. Trying to think of words and manage anxiety and read someone's face all at once, that's a lot for one moment.
So the empty room removes one of those layers in advance.
Right. It handles the forming the sentence part privately, so in the real conversation you mostly just have to handle the nerves.
Which is still hard, but it's one problem instead of three.
Exactly. And once you've built some comfort alone, the next step is finding low-pressure real conversations.
Like what?
A language exchange, a coworker who's patient, even ordering coffee in English if you're somewhere that allows it.
Small, real moments.
Small, real moments. Repeated often. That's the actual path.
And here's the part I think people skip. Those small moments don't have to go well to count.
Meaning?
Meaning, if you order coffee and stumble over a word, that still counts as practice.
It's not about the outcome being smooth.
Right. It's about your mouth and brain doing the work of real-time speaking. Outcome aside.
So even a slightly awkward conversation is still a win.
Every single time. Because the awkward ones are usually the ones that teach you the most.
So if we bring this all together,
Speaking confidence comes after practice, not before it.
mistakes are information, not verdicts.
Fluency is built through repeated, imperfect effort, not one perfect moment.
And the empty room is where you build the muscle, quietly, before you ever need it in public.
None of this requires a classroom, a textbook, or anyone watching you.
Just a few minutes, your own voice, and a little courage to sound a bit silly.
Which, honestly, is the hardest part for most people.
It is, but sounding silly for 4 minutes alone in your kitchen is a lot better than staying silent for years out of fear.
That's a good place to land.
So next time you're alone, doing something ordinary, try narrating it out loud in English.
Even if it's just, I'm making tea, and I don't know why I'm nervous about this.
Especially then.
And if you take nothing else from today, take this.
You don't need permission to start.
You don't need a perfect sentence, a perfect moment, or a perfect mood.
You just need a few minutes and a willingness to sound a little unfinished.
Unfinished, not broken.
That's a better word for it.
It really is.
Now let's slow down and practice today's powerful words, words that help you talk about speaking, hesitation, and confidence. Our first word is hesitate.
Hesitate.
Hesitate means to pause because you're unsure or nervous right before you speak or act.
Maybe you know the answer, but you pause anyway, out of nerves.
You could say, I hesitated before answering, even though I knew what to say.
Or maybe you're describing a habit you want to break.
Then you could write, I want to stop hesitating so much when I speak English.
And notice, Hesitating isn't the same as not knowing.
Right. Plenty of fluent speakers hesitate too. They just don't panic about it. Our next word is fluent.
Fluent.
Fluent means speaking smoothly and naturally, without constantly stopping to search for words.
Maybe you're not fluent yet, but you're getting closer every week.
You could say, I'm not fluent yet, but I'm definitely more comfortable than last year.
Or maybe you're describing a goal.
Then you could write, my goal is to speak fluent English by next year.
And a small reminder. Fluent doesn't mean perfect.
No, plenty of fluent speakers still make small mistakes. Fluent just means the words flow. Our next word is articulate.
Articulate.
Articulate means expressing your thoughts clearly, in a way that's easy for others to follow.
Maybe you finally explained something complicated, and it actually made sense.
You could say, I finally articulated my idea clearly in the meeting today.
Or maybe it's something you're working on.
Then you could write, I'm learning to articulate my thoughts more clearly in English.
And this word works for native speakers too.
Absolutely. Articulate is about clarity, not accent or vocabulary size. Our next word is mumble.
Mumble.
Mumble means to speak quietly and unclearly, so the words are hard to understand.
Maybe nerves make your words come out too soft.
You could say, I tend to mumble when I'm nervous, so I try to slow down.
Or maybe you're describing someone else.
Then you could write, he mumbled his answer, so I had to ask him to repeat it.
A helpful trick here is simply speaking a little louder than feels natural.
It sounds strange at first, but it genuinely helps with clarity. Our next word is filler word.
Filler word.
A filler word is a small sound or word like or you know that we use while we think of what to say next.
Maybe you notice yourself using them a lot when you're nervous.
You could say, I used so many filler words in that conversation, but at least I kept talking.
Or maybe you're describing a strategy.
Then you could write, replacing filler words with short pauses makes you sound calmer.
And here's the good news. Filler words aren't a sign of weak English.
Native speakers use them constantly. They're just a normal part of thinking out loud. Our final word is tongue-tied.
Tongue-tied.
Tongue-tied means so nervous or surprised that you temporarily can't find the right words at all.
Maybe someone asked you a sudden question, and your mind just went blank.
You could say, I got completely tongue-tied when my manager asked me a question out of nowhere.
Or maybe it's a pattern you're noticing.
Then you could write, I used to get tongue-tied constantly, but it happens less now that I practice speaking alone.
And if that happens to you, a short pause is always allowed.
Always. Nobody expects an instant answer, not even in your first language.
Those were today's powerful words. Hesitate, fluent, articulate, mumble, filler word, and tongue-tied.
Try using at least one of them in a real sentence this week, even if it's just to yourself, in an empty room.
So now let's take some sentences learners actually say to themselves and rewrite them into something calmer and more accurate.
First one. My English is bad. I always mumble and nobody understands me.
That sentence is doing a lot of damage in one breath.
It really is. Let's rewrite it. Try this instead. Sometimes I mumble when I'm nervous, but people usually understand me more than I think.
Same honesty, way less punishment.
And notice, it doesn't deny the mumbling. It just removes the nobody understands me part, which usually isn't even true.
Right. That part is fear talking, not reality.
Second one. I always hesitate before speaking, so I probably sound stupid.
Ouch. Let's soften that without lying about it.
Try, I hesitate sometimes because I'm being careful with my words, and that's not the same as sounding stupid.
Hesitating means you're thinking, not failing.
Exactly, and thinking before you speak is a skill, not a flaw.
Third one. I get so tongue-tied, I just stay quiet in meetings.
That's such a common one.
Try this instead. I get tongue-tied sometimes, so I'm learning to prepare one sentence in advance before meetings.
That turns a fear into an actual plan.
It also gives you one small win to build on, instead of staying silent the entire time.
Fourth one. I use too many filler words, it makes me sound unprofessional.
Let's rewrite that one too.
Try. I use filler words while I think, and I'm slowly replacing some of them with short, calm pauses.
That sounds like growth, not failure.
And honestly, calm pauses often sound more confident than a rushed, filler, heavy sentence anyway.
Fifth one. I'll never be fluent. I've been studying for years and I still can't talk.
This one really gets me.
Try this instead. I'm not fully fluent yet, but every empty room conversation is moving me closer.
Yet is doing so much work in that sentence.
It really is. One small word that turns a dead end into a road.
And the last one. I sound stupid when I speak English out loud, so I just avoid it.
Let's end on this one properly.
Try. I don't always sound as smooth as I want yet, but avoiding speaking won't get me there. Only speaking will.
Practice over perfection. Every single time.
That's the sentence I want people to remember. Not I'll speak once I'm fluent, but I'll become fluent because I speak.
And if you only remember one rewrite from today, let it be that one.
Because it flips the entire order people usually get stuck in.
Waiting for fluency to arrive, instead of building it, one imperfect sentence at a time.
So let's bring it all together. Speaking confidence comes from practice, not before it. Mistakes are just information, and small daily reps build real fluency over time.
This week, try the empty room method for just 3 minutes a day. Pick something ordinary and narrate it out loud in English.
And when you're done, come back and tell us in the comments, what did you talk to your empty room about?
We genuinely want to know, even if it's something as small as I'm just making coffee.
If this episode helped you, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. We've got more practical episodes like this coming soon.
Thank you for spending this time with us today.
Keep practicing. Keep speaking, even imperfectly.
Especially imperfectly.
Bye for now.